Up next on the Tesla Plaid channel.
This will be our fastest pass ever, I'm sure. Whoa! Look at this! How do you like this steering yoke? Welcome back to the Tesla Plaid channel. We're on our way out to Orlando Speed World. This time we're charging up before we go out there. A lot of people asked why I didn't charge up to over 90% last time, and the answer is quite simple. When you're going out to a track that tells you you've got to cut it off at 9 seconds like they used to say, there was no point in me having over 90% because I could run 10 seconds all day long, even if I was down to 20%. But I received a message just about a week ago from the track manager out of Orlando, and he said unequivocally that this car can run flat out as long as there's no modifications. The way he explained it is the NHRA has a rule that if a car is production, factory, stock without modifications, then it can run without a roll cage. So we're going to run today flat out until they tell us we can't, and therefore we're charging it up beforehand. We've got the 19-inch wheels on with the stock Pirelli tires. This is the formula that gave us the 5.99 second 1/8 mile out at showtime. So we're optimistic that if we run that, it'll be a very low 9-second pass. That's our first goal out at the track today. If we see some interesting cars and get some interesting races, that'll be a bonus. All right, we're almost done charging. Let's head on out to Orlando Speed World. All right, we're at Orlando Speed World, and I just confirmed with Marco that we can run flat out today. He did ask me to run in the no time lane. That's cool. If that's his preference for whatever reason. Hey, it looks like we have our friends out here from rear wheel drive here today. So we pulled in with 98%, which is even more than I expected. I've set it to drag strip mode. It says 7 minutes remaining. That'll get it up to full temperature a little after 10:30, and I do believe that the lanes go hot at 10:30. Hopefully our timing's pretty good. We don't waste any power. We got to Orlando Speed World just before they opened, so not too many cars out here yet. You can just see a couple cars in the slick tire lanes. They don't let me run in lanes 1 and lane 2 because I've got street tires on the car. So, in case you're wondering why I'm not running with this 69 Camaro right here, the tire discrepancy. That's a no time pro tree lane. Pro tree doesn't really matter when you're just running for your best time. Doesn't matter what tree. I'm not running for a reaction today. But even in the street tire lane, you can see we've got 6 cars, including the 2 that are pulling up. Not too many cars here today. And we got Lou from Solar Shifts. All right, track guys are being nice and friendly to me today. I like it. Just talked to the staging lane guy here, and he's good. Yeah, I've got to run no time, but remember, this is the first time I've ever had this track.
I'm gonna be at the water box, and just look for me to call you up, all right?
Okay, yeah, thanks. So this is the first time this car has been to the quarter-mile track with full charge. We've done full charges over at the 1/8 mile track. We've done this track with a 55% charge starting out. We're at drag strip mode, peak performance ready, and still with 97% battery. I know some Plaids have run pretty fast out here, and I know there was one that showed up here trailered with a 100% charge, but that was on 21-inch wheels. We've got no cameras on the outside of the car. We're pulling out all our little tricks here to get the best time we can get. We got the same air pressure in the tires that we did when we ran that 599.
You want any water?
No water, no water.
I know you don't want water.
All right, let's get our tires here. All right, we know what we want here. We're gonna just barely light that second light. Peak performance ready, preparing for launch. Any second now. Here we go. Oh, nice launch. Gonna keep it straight here. This will be our fastest pass ever, I'm sure. Here we go. Oh, nice launch. Gonna keep it straight here. This will be our fastest pass ever, I'm sure. Oh, that felt really good. That felt really fast. Traction felt great. I'm going to take it out of drag strip mode because it's probably going to be a while before we make our next pass. right, I have no doubt that's a low 9-second pass. How low? We'll find out.
Not far off.
How'd we do?
26.
Nice.
Is that the
9:26.
fastest you've been in it so far?
It is, but I've only had this car for a couple of weeks. 3 weeks as of a couple days ago, actually. And that's the first ever pass I've done in this car with a full charge.
Nice.
Quarter mile. I've done 1/8 mile passes at the 1/8 mile track. And I've done some passes here when I came with 55%. But I showed up today with 98. I'm down to 95 now. I use about 3% per pass.
Not too bad.
So,
26 is good.
And it usually gets faster the second, third, fourth pass. When I ran a 5:99 1/8 mile, and that was on my 5th pass the other night.
Wow.
So
well, let's hope in the next couple you'll be quicker.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. Be safe.
I'm sure we all know Jay Leno ran a 9:23, and at that point, that was the number to beat. Some people have beat that number obviously since, especially taking weight out, but we are 100% weight here. In fact, we're probably 101% weight because I got these cameras, I got a cooler in the back seat, I got too much stuff that I don't want to have in this car. So I'm going to see what I can unload before my next pass, and I'm optimistic we can beat that one. We ran a 9.267 at 150.98 miles an hour. Our 1/8 mile wasn't our best 1/8 mile. It was a typical first pass 1/8 mile of 6:02. Those of you that have been watching my 1/8 mile runs know that typically I run a 6:01, 6:02 the first few passes. And the one time I ran a 5:99, it was the 5th pass of that night. So that would, 5 passes on the 1/8 mile is more like 2.5, 3 passes out here. So I'm thinking the 3rd pass today might be our fastest one. We'll find out. All right, that was a great start. 9:26. I think we can beat it on this pass. All right, we're avoiding the water box as always. All right, we know where we want to be. Dropping the front end down. And here we go. Oh, that was solid as well. The prep is really good out here today. Here we go. Oh, that was solid as well. The prep is really good out here today. Holy mackerel! Whoa! Look at this! Holy mackerel! Oh man, I'm glad I didn't come up on those guys with speed. Like 5 turkeys. Five wild birds of some sort. That was unusual. Thankfully they were past the finish line and pretty close to the end of the runoff. That would not have been fun to come up on those guys with speed. The 1/8 mile times are all about traction in this car, and that traction felt awesome on that pass.
29.
9:29. All right.
Looks like
good.
maybe a little quicker 60 foot.
Well, yeah. The 6:05 though, I was a 6:02 1/8 mile on the previous. Traction felt really good, so maybe I'll try the other lane.
There you go.
So on that second pass, we ran a 9:29 at 150.7 with a 150 60 foot and a 6:05 1/8 mile. You know, when we're off by 0.05 of a second on the 60 foot, that's about what we should expect. We're down to 92% battery charge now, and we're gonna try the left lane if they'll let us. The last 2 passes they've specifically told us to get into the right lane. All right, we're gonna go left lane this pass. We're gonna just barely light that bulb as we've been doing all day today. As soon as it says ready, we are gonna hit it. And ready, set now. Ooh, nice hook up. take it out of drag strip mode. All right, let's see what this left lane did for us. I see a smile on the face of this time slip guy.
Another 27.
27.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
148, 60 foot. That
Nice.
picked up a bit.
Yeah, it did. And then lose a little at the top.
Lose a little at the big end.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
So that was right in the middle of the previous two passes. We had a 926 and then a 929, and this was a 927.9 at 150.38 miles an hour. So I think that's our lowest mile an hour of the three passes. Our best 60 foot, 148. And if nothing else, that tells me we should have been in the left lane on the previous pass, because that lane felt spectacular. Not our best 60 foot ever. We've run as low as a 145, but a 148 60 foot and a 602 eighth mile. So none of the eighth mile times here have been quite at that 599, but if we're up by 0.03 and you take 0.03 off that best time of 926, then that would have been, all things being equal, a 923 quarter mile. All right, we got another Plaid out here today. This gray Plaid has got 21-inch wheels, and it's good to see multiple Tesla Plaids out here. He hasn't made a pass yet, but he's looking forward to running flat out. With these 21s in the car, he's probably looking at a 9.3 or 9.4 pass, but he's in the no time lanes, so we won't be seeing his time on the board. Driver's another vet named Brad. Brad, thanks for your service.
You're quite welcome. It's an honor.
And we were hoping to run the cars together, but it's not gonna work out today. I've got another obligation and have to leave the track early. So next time we're out here, especially after Brad has made some passes, you know, my preference is always not to go down the track until the driver's had multiple passes on that setup, that car, and is comfortable with it. That ZL1 Camaro is another example of that back there. Great car, but they were making their first passes. So get some passes, get comfortable with the car, the setup, and then race. Unfortunately, we have to leave the track early today. We wanted to make more passes. We were just able to make those 3, and it is getting much more crowded now. So very encouraging that we can run flat out here without a roll cage. So many people have been asking in the comments, when are we going to do the roll cage, when are we going to do the roll cage? Well, looks like we might not have to do that roll cage. And all things being equal, I'm confident in the safety features of this car, its resistance to crush, the 8 airbags, and all the rest of it. And you guys can see the safety gear that I choose to wear when I make my passes. So if we can legally be making passes out here without a roll cage, then that's what we're going to do. Whether we need to add a chute or not, since we are just crossing 150, I'm still open to the chute. And we'll take a closer look at doing that next month. But for now, we're making flat out passes without a cage, which is pretty awesome. So those 3 passes we made today are the fastest 3 passes we made in either of the 2 Plaids, running 3 solid 9.2s, all at over 150 miles an hour. And I believe under the right conditions, we can do a little better than that, even before stripping weight out of the car. Remember, this car is 100% stock at this moment, with nothing removed whatsoever, with the minor exception of the aerodynamic wheel covers, which are 6.6 pounds in sum total for the 4 of them, 1.65 pounds each. But with the exception of the wheel covers, which are obviously a negligible difference, the car is 100% stock. We've still got the back seats in, we've got all the seats in. So we'll be taking the back seats out soon, but we wanted to get a baseline. People are asking why it hasn't been done yet. I've only had the car 3 weeks, and I'm trying to set a baseline here. With drag racing, you always want to know where you stand before each change. And today was the very first time this car has ever made quarter-mile drag strip passes with over 90% charge. I'm happy with the way the car performed, and I'm looking forward to bringing it out here again soon. I'm also really hoping that the other local NHRA tracks get on board with the same rule policy that we've got here at Orlando. So we'll see how that goes in the next couple weeks. But until then, we've got this track running flat out. We've got Showtime running flat out. and we can still make some interesting races out of Bradenton until we get a final decision on whether we can run there without a cage. Thanks for joining us today, and look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Tesla Plaid channel. So the question I get most on the Tesla Plaid channel is, how do you like this steering yoke? And first things first, I don't like it. I'd rather have the round wheel that I've got in my 2019 Tesla Model S Performance. I'll start with a couple of good things about it. Yeah, you can see the screen without anything ever blocking it. That's one nice feature. And at the drag strip, it keeps you focused, you know, with your hands right at 3 and 9. And those are the two advantages. But the disadvantages, having no stalks is the main disadvantage. I can't tell you how many times I'm on the freeway and I'm making a lane change and I'm flipping it nowhere, or I'm trying to flash to pass and there's nothing there, and cruise control and all the things that you expect them to be where they've always been for the last 20 or 30 years of driving are no longer that way. So that's frustrating. These turn signal indicators are exactly where the media selection buttons are in my other car. This is not my daily driver, so by switching back and forth between the two cars, I got to keep reminding myself which car I'm in, because when you're focused on the road and you just want to press the turn signal and it skips the next song because I'm in my other Tesla, or vice versa, very frustrating. If this is your daily driver and you drive it exclusively just the Plaid, well, you'll get adapted to it at some point in time. But I switch back and forth. This is not my daily driver. This is my 9-second race car. I'm going to be taking the back seats out here soon, so not a daily driver. My daily driver is my 10-second car, my 2019 Tesla Model S Raven, and the wheels are completely different. And I'm switching back several times a week, driving this car on race nights, driving that car any other day, and it is quite frustrating switching back and forth. Also, I challenge anyone in a panic situation, somebody cuts off in front of you, to find this freaking horn button right here. I mean, really, that car just pulled out right there in front of me. Am I gonna be able to find this freaking button? No, I'm not gonna be able to find that stupid button. Maybe I'll hit here and it's gonna do nothing. So, you know, just this layout of buttons, I'm not digging it at all. So that's my short version of this yoke steering wheel. It's fine on the drag strip. It pretty well sucks as a daily driver, unless it's the only car you drive. But if you switch back and forth between cars like I do, you will probably find yourself rather frustrated with it. I know everybody's experience is a little different. I'm just sharing mine. Feel free to share your questions, comments, and personal experiences with the yoke in the comment section. And see you next time right here on the Tesla Plaid channel.